Hello folks, my name is Gwen Madoc. This is number 1 of the Writing Techniques series that I hope to do. This episode I want to talk about putting a novel together and also working with an idea. Now, anyone can write a novel, but few people do actually do it. The reason being lack of dedication. One has to be prepared to follow through, even to the extent of making sacrifices in other areas of your life. Of course, one can write as a hobby, and when the mood takes you, but that lackadaisical way of writing will not lead to publication. A successful novelist must love not only words and books, but people too. People in all their sort of various ways and traits, good and bad, are the stuff of novels. Even in sci-fi novels, aliens have to possess some human qualities, or people will not take to them. The film Avatar is a perfect example of this. Writing a novel is hard work, and there can be no doubt about that. And it has to be done in solitude, really. That's not always easy for people who have families, and it's difficult to find a little space of your own. But it can be done if your family will agree to give you the time. So even with dedication to see the project through to the resulting book, a novel could still end up as an abject failure, really. And why is this? Well, the answer is that the writer must learn the right techniques. When putting a novel together, the writer must learn how to put it together. Now, some writers are apparently born with this wonderful ability. Others must learn. I am a writer who had to learn. I had to learn the tricks of the craft, and it took about 12 years. Now, I want to pass my knowledge and experience on to other writers if I can. Finishing a novel and bringing it up to publication standard can be done, can be accomplished with dedication and determination, and the most important aspect of all, deep faith in oneself and one's ability. Even while I was learning the craft or art of writing, I was convinced I would achieve my goal eventually. I would be a published writer one day. Now, I've talked so far about the attitude of the writer to his or her writing. Let's now take it as a fact that you, as a writer, have this faith in yourself and determination. These attributes are the platform of which you stand at the start of your career. The writer need not concern himself with matters of grammar and spelling. Those things can be put right later. The key of successful novel is the imaginative spark, the creativity of the writer, the writer's raw talent. It's the raw talent that's what counts. Of course, the novel starts out, as many living things does, a tiny grain of life. I feel the novel is a sort of living thing. And that vague idea that excites the writer's imagination. This embryo of an idea must be nurtured and pondered over, thought about for quite a while, really, before you start. The main thing to consider when just first formulating an idea is, does this idea have legs to run with, to run the entire distance of the novel? It's got to be sturdy. This is important. The evolving idea must have not only legs, but meat too. When writing a novel, often the story opens with a bit of a bang. The writer knows exactly how to open the story. It sort of comes naturally with the idea, very often. The writer is fired up by this idea, and the opening presents itself readily to him. The writer can also envisage the end, again in a big sort of fanfare, the finale, the denouement. But the problem is that the middle of the novel can be neglected, and it can fall flat on its face. That is why it is so essential to know what the idea that the idea can sustain the entire length of the novel. Writers can ensure this by having more than one thread to the story. Two threads are the most manageable, really. A writer is taking a bit of a gamble if he introduces more than two threads. Thread 1, the story of the main key character, and thread 2, the story of a secondary key character. These two threads should develop separately, but must converge at some point in the novel. The middle of the novel can be prevented from going flat by planning ahead and providing meatiness and substance to the middle of the story. That means you have to plan ahead and have a storyline, an outline to follow. Using only one thread is showing the story of only one key character, and that can lead to a block when the writer runs out of subsequent ideas. Two threads, along with a well-presented secondary character and a plot line sketched out beforehand, will help maintain pace. Now, pace can make a novel. Lack of pace will break a novel. I've talked about the initial idea. People do ask where ideas come from, and many writers scratch their heads for an answer. When a writer has been working on an idea for some time, growing it, shaping it, deepening it, and generally giving substance to it, it is hard to remember later on what the initial spark was that excited the reader, the writer. We are, as writers, are bombarded with ideas constantly. It's the skill of knowing when an idea has the tenacity to stay the course, whether, as I have said, it has the legs to run. When I was first starting to write, I kept a notebook of ideas. I wrote them down as they came to me, but I had enough sense to know that I should concentrate on only one idea at a time, test it for durability, and then run with it. It was fatal to start with too many ideas, to jump from one to the other because of boredom, really. That book will never be written. Too many irons in the fire will never do. So we are back again to the suitability of an idea to stay the course. And of course, with the idea comes the characters. Although the idea a writer dreams up may seem ideal, rushing into writing too soon is a bad thing. whereas one character is not enough. One idea also is not enough. One idea initially leads to another naturally. The writer must put off writing until there is a firm footing to begin. Well, I've talked about the beginning of the novel, the basic thing of getting the idea and working with it. And next time I want to talk about the preparation of how a novel should appear and how it is presented. Now, I have videos on writing on YouTube under the name of Jackie75, that's JACI 75. I'm still writing on Wattpad.com, where I have some articles on writing tips under the name of Gwen Madoc. Well, I hope to see, but speak to you again. Thank you for listening. Bye.